Today we're taking a look at these NBA matches, which are happening on Friday, April 7, 2023, and giving you our team and total picks for today. Welcome back to High Stakes. Before we dive into our video, don't forget to subscribe and to push the notification bell so you don't miss any of our videos. Also check out our Patreon if you want access to our premium picks. Our Patreon is a way for us to help you improve your chances of making more money, and if you are interested in props and parlay picks, check out our new channel High Stakes Props and Parlays, where you can find our player props and parlay picks predictions. You will find the link to our Patreon and to our new channel in the description and comments section below. Miami Heat vs Washington Wizards. Miami still has an outside shot at avoiding the Eastern Conference play-in tournament, which was enough to justify playing all of its key players on Thursday. The Heat cruised to one of their most impressive wins of the season, blowing out Philadelphia as 2-point underdogs. They shouldn't lack any motivation on Friday after keeping those hopes alive on Thursday, especially with the wave of momentum that they are riding right now. Meanwhile, Washington is tanking down the stretch, resting all of its key players and failing to play competitive games. Miami is 36-21 as a favorite this season, and I expect the Heat to add another win on Friday night. Our team pick is Miami to cover. Washington won 12 out of 17 games from the end of December to the end of January to get within 2 games of the .500 mark. The Wizards were also at that point on March 2nd, but they have lost 14 of their 18 games since then. They are riding a 4-game losing streak coming into this matchup, with all 4 of those losses coming by at least 7 points. Washington lost to Atlanta by 18 points in a road game on Wednesday, failing to cover the spread as a 13-point underdog. Center Daniel Gafford posted a double-double with a team-high 25 points and 10 rebounds, shooting 8 of 10 from the floor. Our total pick is over. Houston Rockets vs Charlotte Hornets. Charlotte enters this contest with a net scoring margin of -6.5 points per game, which is 27th in the league. It has unfortunately come to a sputter of a season end for the Hornets, as they're expected to close the season out with a litany of players getting wiped out over the last month and a half. That being said, it was already shaping into a disappointing season for Charlotte, who sits 28th in shooting percentage and 29th in long-range success. Charlotte has had no trouble getting shots off this season and sits 6th in the league in shot attempts per game. But they have not been able to yield results with their quick action tempo, as they sit 30th in shooting efficiency. While the Hornets have shared the ball well and even attacked the paint strongly, they sit bottom 10 in offensive rebound rate and are also in the bottom half of the league in turnover rate. They have also found ways to poke the ball away and generate points in transition, which will be a major edge against a turnover-prone and out-of-place transition defense of Houston. Continuing on the defense side of the court, the Hornets have held their own pretty well, albeit sitting bottom 10 in opponent-made baskets per game. While Charlotte has defended the perimeter pretty well, they've struggled in the key and in closing out possessions. What's worse is when the Hornets give up offensive boards, they have not been keen on limiting easy baskets. It'll come down to the Hornets being able to take advantage in transition and not getting out-muscled in the painted area. With a list of available players shrinking, the ladder seems an uphill climb. While the Rockets haven't been a good road team by any means this season, they'll be up against a spiraling Hornets team that has often been beaten up on the glass and in the key. The path to success for Houston will be to get the ball inside and utilize their advantage on the glass. After a hot home finale, the Rockets will look to carry any positive momentum into the off-season. Take Houston as the rare favorite. Our team pick is Houston -1.5 points. This game will be a bit of clash in styles, with the Hornets being more apt to push the tempo and the Rockets playing slower than most teams in the league. That said, we know Houston has turnover issues, and that will spell many dead possessions on their end of the court. Likewise, the Hornets are getting guys out there who have very little court time together. The Rockets should hold the Hornets to primarily single-shot possessions, and the Hornets should be able to frustrate the Rockets' offense with their propensity to poke the ball away and create turnovers. In the event that this game remains closed down the stretch, both teams sit bottom 5 in free throw success, which will only help keep the total under the number. The play is the under, which is 22-9 in the last 31 between these two. Our total pick is under 233 points. Detroit Pistons vs Indiana Pacers. Marvin Bagley III is listed as probable for the game. Isaiah Livers and Eugene Omorai is listed as questionable. Rodney Magruder, Bojan Bogdanovic and Alec Burks are out for the game. The Pistons are 33-43-4 against the spread this year. They are 16-23 against the spread this year on the road. They are 3-6-1 against the spread in their last 10 games. Detroit is 3-1 against the spread in their last 6. Detroit is averaging 110.5 points per game, which ranks 29th. They are shooting 45.5% from the field, which is last in the league. The Pistons are making 35.1% from behind the three-point line, which ranks 22nd. On defense, the Pistons are allowing 118.8 points per game, which ranks 27th. They are allowing their opponents to make 49% from the field, which ranks 28th. Opponents are shooting 36.2% from behind the three-point line, which ranks 17th. This is a tough game to predict as both teams have crumbled down the stretch of the season. Injuries have tortured both teams along with just inadequate play. I am taking the Pistons solely because 7 points seems like way too much for a struggling Pacers team to cover. Indiana may win this game by 2 or 3 points, as each team is just ready for the offseason. Take the Pistons to cover. These are two of the worst defensive scoring teams in the NBA. Although injuries have been a problem entering the game, I think that scoring buckets will be very easy. The defenses are slow and allow way too many second chance points for both sides. The over is 4-0 in the Pistons' last 4 overall. The over is 7-2 in the Pacers' last 9 home games. Take the over on Friday. Philadelphia 76ers vs Atlanta Hawks. There are a few reasons to like the Hawks here. 1. The Sixers are playing the second night of a back-to-back, and they are on the road. 2. The Hawks are playing good basketball right now, and they need this game to either hold their position in the play-in race or move up ahead of Miami. 3. The Sixers have nothing to play for as they have all but locked up the 3rd seed. It is not clear who the Sixers will play or sit, so be sure to check their lineups before game time. But this all adds up to what should be an easy Hawks win. Take the Hawks to cover. Atlanta, who is currently ranked number 1 in the NBA in three-point shooting, has gone over the point total or pushed in their previous 3 games. Their offense is not slowing down as they prepare for the playoffs, having scored over 130 points in 2 of their last 3 games. The Hawks are currently ranked 3rd in the NBA in points per game, 118.3 ppg. They have gone over the point total in their last 2 games at home. Philadelphia is currently ranked number 1 in the NBA in three-point shooting, and some of their bench players will be looking to make an impression and score as their starters rest and prepare for the playoffs. Most signs point to a higher scoring affair between these two teams as the season winds down. Take the over. Orlando Magic vs Brooklyn Nets. I'm betting on Brooklyn to win and cover as 6-point spread favorites Friday night. The Nets will be off Thursday, while Orlando will be playing Cleveland. Eliminated from playoff contention, Orlando won't be as competitive in the second game of a back-to-back, and Brooklyn won't let up with the playoffs on the horizon. Aside from Finney-Smith, who still plans to play, Brooklyn is healthy and ready to rock and roll. The Nets handled their business as double-digit favorites against Detroit on Wednesday and will get the job done again at home Friday. Our team pick is Nets -6 points. Even though Orlando is on a back-to-back, I do like the over in this one. The Magic's defense leaves a lot to be desired, and with them being on a back-to-back and not playing for much, the point total is a tad too low for me. This season, Orlando is 39-38-2 in hitting the over, and although Brooklyn is 36-43-1, the Nets are playing at a pace of 100.6, while having an offensive efficiency of 113.3, which ranks 9th, while the Magic play at a pace of 101.7, which ranks 13th. Meanwhile, in the 2 games these two teams played average 218 ppg. Finally, in Orlando's last 5 games, the games have gone for 226.2 ppg, while Brooklyn's last 5 are averaging 225.8 ppg. Take the over here. Toronto Raptors vs Boston Celtics. Only one of the 2 teams in this matchup has anything to gain from a win. Toronto will trot out their regular lineup in this one, while I expect the Celtics to rest more than at least one of their key players. Toronto has a lot to gain by potentially catching the Hawks in the standings. The Raptors are just 14-26 on the road this season, but a far more respectable 26-14 at home. Look for Toronto to control the pace and take advantage of a depleted Celtics roster. Take Toronto. The better way to play this game in my opinion is by taking the under. Toronto's offense has struggled all season long, but their defense has kept them in games, as oftentimes the Raptors can keep teams under 110 points, which is crucial for the under here. This season, Toronto is playing at a pace of 99.6, which ranks 25th, while their offensive and defensive efficiency ranks 14th and 12th. Boston, meanwhile, plays at a pace of 100.7, which ranks 18th, while their defensive efficiency ranks 3rd. As well, in the 3 games these two teams have played, the games have gone for 212 points, and I expect even fewer here with the Celtics resting key players. Take the under.